Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and today my look is sponsored by you, Grizzlies. So many of you sent me so many wonderful things. This is from Amber. I literally have this bracelet from Ellen. This is from Jill. Who sent me this one again? This positive mental attitude. Wait. Oh no, I had all the names written down. Oh my word, but I love it so much. Positive mental attitude. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome to all the mods. Thank you so much to all my moderators. Can you guys all hear me? If you could just give a thumbs up if you can hear me, that would be amazing. Best week ever. Okay. It's so nice to see where you're all from as well. Thank you. Eye roll. Here we go, everyone. Thank you for being here. It's so nice to see you. There's 72 of you here. Okay, so I hope you're having a wonderful December so far. If you want to see me do some Vlogmas, I am doing that. I don't have a separate channel for that. I got membership for that, and it's only $5 a month. And I show you a video every day leading up to Christmas. I take you all over the place, all over the Netherlands. You know, we've been to Schiphol Airport, huh? Remember that? We've been for lots of walks in the forest. We've been in the canals. I'm taking you somewhere special on Saturday. Haven't told anyone where that is yet. Hello. Hello, Stefan. Hello, Suzanne. Hello, Judy. Heidi. Tracy, Margot, Izzy. Oh, my word. Roll call, everyone. Trying to say all your names. Let me see if you gave the thumbs up. If you can hear me. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Hello to Rochelle Pronzo. Thank you so much for the beautiful, beautiful card I got from you today. I still have to email you, but thank you. Oh, my word, so much. That was so beautiful. Yes, Claire, it's on its way. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. I chose none of the above for your poll. I do know that there should be more options. I wish there was a fifth option. None of the above. Just everyone's like, oh, you see, in this Summer Wells case, it's very hard to discern now what is fact and what is fiction. You know, what's speculation and what's the truth? Like, who's lying and who isn't? It's very hectic. Yes, Cindy, it's live right now. I'm sitting in my office in the Netherlands right now. My room is nice and warm. I might get little red cheeks later. Yes, okay. I don't know how quickly it got here, but it arrived and I was so excited to see it. Thank you so much. IT support from my Grizz fam. That poll was a trick question. Didn't hear much, Hunter or Allison. Oh, there's so much though. Oh, but there's so much. Dawn comes off as peak suspicious. And hello from Canada. Thank you for telling me you can hear me. That's wonderful. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Now I'm telling you, I got butterflies in my stomach because I don't even know how to present all the questions. I'm just like, what with this case? Summer Wells case. To summarize, what? Nothing fits. It's just like, so much. Thank you so much. Like an ice queen. Like a Frozen? Oh, damn. 75 here in the desert. Okay. I don't actually call my wigs. Thank you so much. I don't have names for the wigs. Interesting. Thank you. Okay. Come back to South Africa. We miss you. Come visit in the Netherlands, man. Let's show the Netherlands how we do it in South Africa, huh? We've got to teach them some of these words like shop. Hey, boyki. Which other ones? How's it? Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. Okay, so if you saw my Instagram story earlier where I just panned through the living area and stopped at Mr. Grizzly to not put him on camera, he doesn't like that. Then I panned through our living area while I was just sitting there. You could see in the distance some notes spread out all over my, what do you call that thing? Like an ottoman. I have all my notes. I have like 3 notebooks here and printed out things. I've got some excellent questions that you guys have also asked me along the way. And what? It's just, timeline is the biggest question. Like, really, the timeline. Like, really, who do we trust on this timeline? It's a giant mess, especially from when Summer Wells was at the watering hole, which was actually a horse stable and not an official watering hole, but she swam there, to when she got home. That whole period is like, what? And then what happened? And how now? Okay. Now. Yeah. Now. I'll see you now. We're talking South African, just in case you guys are wondering, what are you saying? No. And you're where's the grandmother? Oh my word, Barbara, you're hitting us with a big question already, right off the bat. Where is the grandmother? Grandma Candy? And how common is it really? It can happen. But for two people in one family to just vanish into thin air. Remember, Candace's sister, Rose, disappeared in 2009. Just like poof, gone. What? It's very strange. Yes, share your thoughts tonight. Tonight you are at the, I suppose, the True Crime University. And we are here to brainstorm, and we are here to think out loud, and we are here to go, okay, I'll go from thinking it's Candy for sure, but then I don't think they're that smart enough to cover it up, so it must be someone else who took her. Oh, I go through all the hypotheses. I was very set on the hypothesis of someone actually taking her, but really, after watching so much footage of the house and the road and doing map time, I'm like, do you know how hard that would be for a person to be able to get up that road and like hide out, even if they walk there, and then know that someone was in that basement, and he or she would have to lure her out. And I mean, in Candace's first interview, she did say someone lured her out, the way she made her face. So I'm like, Hello, everyone, from a cold and blustery Manchester, England. I like I like the vocab there. I love it. I thought you were talking about the possible cow on Beach Road. Oh my word! I'm like, wait, what? Oh, the sister story is quite strange. Just like, oh, she fell off a horse and like sort of hit her head, and then she was just, she might have just vanished herself. What? And then they say she was going to visit a cousin, but yet it turns out she wasn't really. What? Then a car is found near a truck stop, but also near a high school. It's just so strange. Okay, it said she moved away, afraid of Dawn. I think that was on Chris McDonough's interview room. Yes, I've watched a lot of that. Two people to vanish is very strange indeed, and vanish under very mysterious circumstances. To have two people, let's say, murdered in one family, that happens. We see that in true crime. But vanish into thin air? Wow. Summer is such a beautiful little girl. I wish this case can be solved. Me too. I'm going to put this website on my scroll bar here. That is where there's a lot of information as well. Okay. Yes, all the planets would have had to be perfectly aligned to be a stranger abduction. Now, I wonder where to. I'm just looking at your comments because I'm like, oh my word, where do I even begin? Okay, so I suppose I should just start with something. So the timeline, right? What Hunter says versus what Candace says versus what Ellie says. Now let's see what you guys voted to see who you think is the most honest. 10% say Candace, 21% say Dawn, 29% is Allison, and 40% is Hunter. Now the thing is that the timeline of Hunter saying exactly where they went and for how long and what they did, it sounded very plausible and very interesting. It sounded like there's no reason for him to lie about that, right? But when I looked at, where's these other notes now? When I was watching, Chris McDonough interview Candace, she said, oh no, he got that timeline all twisted. We went from the emergency room to the tobacco store, to the hippie house, then to the prescription, and then to Warriors for the swimming hole ride, then to Walgreens, then to Priceless, and then to Hunter's house. So that's like really all different to what Hunter said. It's a different order of things, which I find so freaking strange. Like, now why with that? Why? That's what I want to know. Why is that order so different? Never mind the simple question of the milk jugs on the back seat. Hunter believed he was sitting in the middle. But then the way that Summer is sitting when the last photo of her, the video of her was taken, now she's suddenly lying in that way with the milk jugs like that. So she's kind of in the middle now. It's just like weird. It's just, if he was sitting there, would he have it to get over her? Where was he really sitting? Where was she sitting? What was going on? It just, oh my word. Hello to Lieutenant Peter Pronzo. Also, Candace said when they asked about that orange soda and the candy on the back seat, I know that that picture has been over-analyzed almost to the point where we could take a left turn to Crazy Town if we want to with that. But when Candace said, oh, the candy was always just on the seat, it made me think because the seat was pretty wet based on them swimming. Okay, so why is the candy not like all melted? It looks like fresh ass candy. Sorry for saying ass. It's fresh. Fresh candy scattered on the seat. So how can it just be like the candy was always there? Because there's definitely quite a wet patch on the seat. I think it was an arranged kidnapping to fulfill a debt. That seems plausible too. So yeah, feel free to share your thoughts. Mods, please let me know if the chat is too fast. I can always slow it down. Yes, I did. I showed map time on an earlier YouTube episode and not a podcast with highly sus people in the area around the home. Yes, I did. There are many of them. I've still got their names all written down. I did map time of all the offenders in the area. There's at least 8 of them just in Summer's immediate vicinity. So it is still plausible. It's still possible. But with the dogs not barking, with the family not knowing and disappearing in 2 to 5 minutes from the basement, which Candace says she doesn't know if the basement door was locked or unlocked, and Don says no, it was locked. And then there's the other thing that Candace says is when she's explaining the whole timeline and showing it, demonstrating it to Chris McDonough, she says the kids were in the house and it was a no one can get in, no one can get out situation, like they were locked in the house. So if they were locked in the house, then how did someone get out? And there's this whole thing. I know I'm rambling just a little bit. I'm jumping around, but like you could see, I think your mind does this too with this case, right? It's just like they talk about Summer on the swing. They talk about Summer living on foot. They talk about Summer outside, but they also talk about her in the basement. And I'm like, whew. So what is it really? You know, what is it really? I mean, Don Wells also said that him, Candace, and Grandma Candace, Grandma Candy passed the polygraph lie detector test. Tyler Pillar. Oh, I'm with you there. Oh, yes. The Summer Wells case makes me scratch my head. It's one of those. It's just like, what? It can absolutely consume one, right? It's so crazy. So, wait, what was I saying? The lie detector test. Dawn said they all 3 passed it. And then it turns out Candace actually couldn't take the first one. Dawn says she failed the first one and that she should come clean about why she failed it. What is going on there? And how can people who are substance abusers take lie detector tests? Like on the same day or like the next day? You can't, I don't know. Oh my word. Okay, Barbara, I'm checking it out. Nightbot is as busy as a bee. Is Nightbot busy? Oh my word. Okay, now I'm just going to let you guys prompt some of my thoughts. They got the slushies after 2 p.m. The store was having a special between 2 and 4, buy one, get one free. Now my question, Mystical Panda, is if they got slushies and did they not say that someone got like a blue one or a blueberry one, whatever? You know how it is when you have slushies. Your mouth turns the color of the slushie. Why is her mouth not bluish? And I mean from the slushie. It looks almost like she's got lip gloss on in that car. But why? Okay, not even that. That's not even my top question about the slushie. My top question about the slushie is if she's so cold on a warm day that she has to be dressed fully in a tracksuit, why are they getting slushies, which is like ice cold? It doesn't make sense. And where is it? Because, you know, they would have gotten it and then where'd they throw it away? Where the slushies? Because they're sure the soda and candy all over the back seat, right? Hunter can't remember all the lies he was told to remember. Is Summer still out there? Ooh, Tyler. Heavy question. Can you imagine if they actually find her in the surrounding area where they're now searching? Because now it's not as overgrown. Remember the search efforts have been renewed, which is what prompted me to start covering this case a little bit 5 months later. And oh my word, have I been wading through the mud and like, what is actually going on here? It's a terrible case, honestly. I don't think any of them are honest. I didn't ask you to think, huh? You just got to vote which one you think is most honest out of all of them. not who's honest. That's the thing. I don't know if anyone that's been interviewed is 100% honest in this case, but who do you think is most honest? All right. So I just saw a video of Don's friends threatening protesters, showing no trespassing signs. If I miss anything, forgive me. I can't keep up with all the things, but I'm trying to. She told Hunter she failed her first test allegedly. Yes, but Don also said that. And in a call that he made, I mean, damn, they've really talked to the media, huh? They've talked to YouTubers. They've had Chris McDonough at their house, in their house. They've done interviews. They've been on Dr. Phil. Like, oh, they're not shy to talk to the media. But it's almost like that case where you start digging yourself just a deeper hole. You know what I mean? The more you say, it's just like more and more questions. This case is baffling. The whales aren't criminal masterminds, obviously, but how is neither a body or a scent found? That's the question. Did anyone else hear early on in the case that Summer was on the phone when Candace woke up that day? I have not heard that. If anyone else did, let us know. I don't think there's anything you can do about them being on something, seeing these tests are not official or for court. At best, you can say inconclusive and reschedule. It's just so hectic to try to do a lie detector test when someone is not really with it. You know what I mean? Okay, so. And did the grandma also take the lie detector test? Because that one I'm not sure of, but that's what Don said. And then here's a question I have. So if they were going fishing, because Hunter said that Candace pulled up and was like, you want to go fishing? And it's like, someone's going fishing. We really want to go fishing. Where are the fishing rods? As in, even just makeshift ones like they usually have. Summer's got pictures. There's no fishing rod. And where was her swimsuit put on? Because that is a whole nother thing. Like, was it put on before the time? At Hunter's house, like he said? And why isn't it a swimming suit? It's a friggin', she's got a strappy top on and a skirt. She used to swim in board shorts, but this day it's like, ooh, strappy top and skirt. All right, Rochelle Pranzo says, good points regarding the slushies. Yeah. Don't worry, Lily. You don't have to choose one. If you don't choose one, I'll know. Ooh, none of them. Yes, lip gloss. But even lip gloss, when a kid drinks slushies, it's just all over your mouth, you know? You know what I mean? Like, you know that color you get? Especially if it's purple or blue. My goodness. Okay, so I'm getting there. Thank you. That was a tough poll. Then you know. Welcome to class. Makes me think of Jump Street. 21 Jump Street. You Sansa are going to college. I love that movie. Okay. Now, why were they taking the grandma's car that day, not this new comfortable car that they had that they were paying so much for? Why not? Why is Dawn taking that car to work? It would make sense that if the granny's got a sore knee and she's going to the emergency room and getting a prescription and all of that, that you'd want to be in a very comfortable car to drive your mom around. But no. Did anyone interview the boys? I mean, I'm sure they did. However, we don't know that. That's speculative. But that would be very interesting to hear what they said, huh? I think they will find her near the property and that she wandered off sadly. I mean, okay. So I do know a little thing or two about neglect. I've been there as a kid. Yes, I was in my backyard for ages, for hours upon hours upon hours. It was me and 4 French poodles. And wandering off was very easy. And talking to strangers, super easy. If I had been abducted, I would not have been surprised, honestly. Especially because you get into this very, children are already in a very imaginative state. But when you are very neglected, which is a form of abuse, which I would just speculatively say that, just based on the parent's state of mind, maybe it's not intentional, but they're neglectful, loosely speaking. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to throw them under the bus here or point too many fingers. I'm just like, it's neglect. Ellie, the friend, was saying she was horrified by how they were living, as we all saw the inside of the house, and that she sometimes would drop off food because the kids were living on $1 pizzas, but kind of like hardly eating and all that. So neglect was there. Now, it's super easy to just wander off and like la 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 and just get into a very imaginative zone. It's almost a dissociated zone where you're like, well, how do you make sense of having no actual sense of security? Well, you find it. You find it in objects, in animals, in nature, and maybe you become like a little fairy dancing around through the forest. Why not? You know what I mean? So Summer really could have actually wandered off and no one noticed. And maybe that's what's glaringly obvious is how much neglect there really was. And that's really the problem. However, maybe it's hard to admit that for them, but the children, all children the other 3 boys have now been taken by Child Protective Services. So neglect is obvious. So it would be better to say, my bad, we neglected her. I didn't see, and she probably wandered off than to make up a story. You know what I mean? Okay. So please slow down the chat. Welcome everyone everyone's rolling in. Welcome. It's nice to have you here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put it on slow mode on 60-second slow mode. And just check here. Okay. Ooh, interesting. I was wondering when Dog the Bounty Hunter was going to get involved. He can find her. I do believe that it was his team or his people that actually helped to find Kathleen Moore's body. That's interesting. Do you think that Candace was taking sedatives so they let her take it again? Do you think that Candace was taking sedatives so they let her take it again? Well, yeah. I think she was taking quite a lot. Ooh, there's so many things. Sorry, you guys are prompting me here, getting my thoughts going even more. They ain't criminal masterminds, but druggies make the best liars. Ken Dalton, you've said it pretty well. Right? They sure can lie. And really patch together a story and all band together maybe to make the story sound all the same, right? JC says, it's quite thought-provoking that people think that Ellie is more honest than the parents. It is. It's very interesting. This is an interesting thought session together. So many unanswered questions. Okay, so for me, there is a chance that Summer could have wandered off and then been taken by someone. Stumbled on the wrong person. Because that could have happened to me easily. So I can understand how that would feel. And if you're just wandering off or trying to get away. The reason I also say that, let me refer to this note that I've got here. Is okay, so I wrote down Candace's one sentence here where she said it's all locked in, nobody can get in, nobody can get out, kind of thing. Okay, right. But then Summer was outside and then she was in, and then you think she got out, right? But when they said, I looked under the bed and the blankets, so she went down into the basement and she looked under. Whoa, that basement was quite scary for a little girl's room. She said, I looked under the bed and all the blankets and everything. To me, that feels like knowing Summer plays some serious hide and seek and that they've looked for her like this before, just this time they really didn't find her, right? Which to me means that sometimes Summer could really hide really well, maybe even on purpose, to get away from who knows what. I know how that feels too. So to look under the bed when there's like hardly a gap under the bed, you're going to look under the bed and under all the blankets. There's not all that much in that basement. It just made me feel like, okay. It's not just like I went into the basement, had a look, she wasn't there. It's like, oh, you're looking everywhere, like wherever you can. And there is no way. There's no cupboards really to look in, not that I could see. You looked under the bed, under the blankets, and they're just like, ooh, out the door. She can't remember if the door was locked or unlocked. Dawn says it was locked. Interesting. It's possible they go fishing as a game and not as a sport. It's interesting. I wouldn't say they went fishing as a sport. I agree with you. But there are pictures of Summer with like from what I remember, it's in the back of my memory here, with like a fishing rod. Like a real kid's wooden stick fishing rod, right? Are the slushy comments referring to Candace's brain? No, we're talking about slush puppies. What do you call them? Do you call them slush puppies everywhere? I wonder if DNC got rid of all the dogs because we don't see them in the video before they went to see Dr. Phil. they must have taken some of the dogs because, oh my word, when they asked Candace, how many dogs have you actually got on this property? She's like, I don't know. Because they just keep having puppies. Like, and now that's another question that I have. How were they feeding all these dogs? Maybe just scraps, leftovers, whatever. But what kind of leftovers if they're eating $1 pizza? How are they feeding all these dogs when they can barely feed the children? Also, bringing up food. Good point, guys. Why is there no mention of breakfast or lunch or dinner on that day? Let's say June 15th. Never mind any other days. But on that day, it's like tobacco store, hippie house, groceries, get the milk, slushies, whatever. But there's really no lunch. Again, I understand what that feels like. Not trying to insert myself. I just can imagine that situation where you're like, neglect is it's a thing. There's no structure. There's no breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So but slushies, man, that's not really lunch, huh? Looking for company and talking to strangers. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I grew up in Pretoria, South Africa. Lieutenant Peter Pranzo, that's so sweet of you to say hello to everyone. That's so nice. Thank you. Parents who neglect lie all the time. I know. Always trying to save face, you know what I mean? Yeah, imagination will get you places. That's the problem that I think, they've also found footprints. Now, this is another, I'm not taking the left turn to Crazy Town, but there's footprints found on some of the neighbors' property. There's conflicting information. They mentioned footprints found on Jody Sue's property. Then Jody Sue says there aren't footprints of Summers found there. Then it's in a neighbor's in the opposite direction. But allegedly, there's a child's footprints found on one of the neighbor's properties, which makes me think she really could have wandered off quite far. She could have even run away. She could have had such an emotional moment of pain from neglect or trauma, or whatever it could be, speculatively, that she ran away. But then what? Then who finds you? That's the problem. That's the problem. Perhaps they would find her if they cleaned up that clutter. Whew. And now they have. Have you guys seen the new? I think that's by CPS. I think if there's any chance of them getting their boys back, they've got to clean up that place, and they've cleaned it up quite a lot. Neglect makes perfect sense. It makes sense to me. And again, I'm not trying to insert myself. I'm trying to let you guys know that I know what it feels like, to be, but like utterly neglected as a child between 0 and 5, to be in that backyard. Or she was also in her backyard, it's like on a hill, but like to be out there and then just live in your own mind and your own imagination and, I don't know, greet every friggin' insect in the yard. Hello, snail. Hello, ladybug. Morning, poodles. Roll call time. So, I know what that feels like and how exciting it can. Imagine if even one of those offenders in the area had, let's say, even a Barbie doll in their hand. I don't know how to simulate this. I'm going to use my stone that someone sent me. And they're like doing this, like they're sitting in the forest and they're like, look here. Or shining even a mirror or something like this. It would make a child so curious to go like, what is that? Even from the basement, what is that? Let me go look. That can happen. Thanks for slow mode. My anxiety was kicking in. I don't want anyone to feel anxious. Hope you're all feeling okay. I truly believe law enforcement is wanting the parents to feel content as possible on top of allowing them to continue their social media charade, or maybe you guys say charade, to further incriminate. Lie detector test results could be false. Get the laundries on all missing persons cases. They find folks in seconds. Mom says she was working on the breaks with grandma. Alibi or didn't someone hear her scream? Someone did allegedly hear her scream. She was working on the grandma's knee brace, I believe. Right? Maybe she was too drunk to take the test. Sorry, Ken. Don't worry. Say your thing. It's every 1 minute. You can say something. Let's see what the mods say. Was it too fast or too? I could speed it back up if you guys want to see. Okay. Now monitoring. It's not so easy to remember your lies, though, especially after all this time. Unless you're a pathological liar who's really good at it. I've met some of those. When you say wandered off and drowned, parents hit her body, I don't know about the wandered off and drowned because the creek is so shallow in that area, allegedly. I think it's very shallow. However, there is this talk of dry drowning, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm first, if you don't mind, I'm going to, we're going to, hey, stop talking. I am going to show you the very first interview. I know we've all seen it, but it's very fascinating to watch, of Candace Bly. If you don't know what the timeline is, just go look at my whole timeline video. We're just going to look at this, and I'm going to stop here and there and just comment because this already for me is like, and then, so here we go.
I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or off
Can you
this
hear?
yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here.
Number one, by her swing? Why did she say by her swing? I thought she was in the basement. And then she's like, lured her away. You know what I mean?
Here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and
I will be interrupting her here and there, planting flowers, but allegedly it was only cacti and succulents. It wasn't flowers, but still. Okay.
she got a piece of candy from grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said,
If you watch where Chris McDonough was there and she was demonstrating the whole thing, it's quite odd to see how she says, she showed how she walked to the porch and then she says, yeah, I could see them through the window in the kitchen, but not really, not from that angle, right? Yes, there's a missing time period of 2 hours. They get home at 4 p.m. They don't start shouting for someone until 6. Exactly.
watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay.
I interject again. I will interject here and there. Oh, by the way, thank you to Dr. Dog for the gin glass that you bought me and the blackberry gin and the tonic. Oh, my word. Thank you so much. So, I will interject here and there. Wait, I lost my train of thought with that. 1 second.
And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. She says later, she tells the boys, watch Summer. And when she comes back in the house 2 to 5 minutes later, ready? She says, where's Summer? And they say, downstairs, Mom. She wanted to play with her toys. But she told Chris McDonough that Summer was sitting on the floor while the boys were sitting at a table with their eyes glued to the TV. Summer was sitting on the floor playing with her toys. So why would she need to go down to the basement to play with her toys? She was sitting right there playing with her toys. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's actually really good. I get spoiled by you Grizzlies. She seems so stoned. Oh my word, she does. She's like, I walked all the way over to the porch, like, okay, lady, it's like 10 steps. But her spatial awareness in that moment is like all the way over there to the porch. Yeah, she probably is high. She probably is.
Back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom.
See? She went downstairs, Mom, to play with the toys in the playroom. She went downstairs, Mom, to. That's too many words for 3 boys who are quite neglected to sit there and be like, hi, Mom, she went downstairs to play with her toys in the playroom. No, 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 no. I don't believe that those 3 boys said that. They're probably like, huh? And it's like, where's Summer? Huh? That's what they would do. Well, where's Summer? I don't know. That's what I can imagine. I can't imagine. She went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. It's not even a playroom really downstairs. They showed us downstairs. She showed us downstairs. It's a very, very strange little doorway, stairway thing, which has now, by the way, been renovated, which I will show you later. We're doing overtime, people. We're doing overtime every time. We do crunch time every time, Florida time, and overtime every time. So if you're like, hey boys, watch Summer, okay, and she was right there playing with her toys on the floor. And then 2 minutes later, why? Tell me why in 240 seconds you're gonna go and be Superwoman, super speed, help your mom with her knee brace, and then like super speed back and go, where's Summer? Like, in what moment has Candace ever been paranoid? Never. And I know a thing or two about paranoia too. You know I do. I'm hyper vigilant. So, like, why is she suddenly, all of a sudden, in the story, racing around wondering where Summer is? She didn't do that before. Why is she worried now? In 2 minutes? Where's Summer? That makes no sense at all. And she said it's a they can't get in, they can't get out kind of situation. So they're locked in the house. The boys are locked in the house. Right. Okay. And to say she went down to the playroom, it's not a playroom. It's Dawn and Candace's bedroom. And then Summer and the 9-year-old also slept there. Okay. Why did she originally say 10 minutes? Now she says 2 minutes. Angela Bloom? Exactly. Downstairs looks like a dungeon and not a playroom. I mean, the windows are freaking blacked out. It's so scary down there. You know? You guys are seeing? Here we go.
I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight.
She usually answers me. Does she though? Because you were checking under the bed and under the blankets. And both parents have admitted that Summer often goes missing a little bit, like she runs away or hides or whatever. Not runs far. That's not what they said. But they said they often shouted the boys like, "Why aren't you watching Summer? Where is she?" And they're like, "She's outside" or whatever. And they're like, "Why don't you watch her?" This has happened a lot. So to say like she often answers me, I doubt it.
Just gone. I don't go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes, and even the
But yet Dawn said that Candace went on a walk, and when she came back, Summer was missing.
coyotes that are around here. Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray and hope that they have not harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Just go to the FBI, the police, and clear it up. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of elusive.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck and I've never heard of it until just recently.
Isn't she the one who brought up the truck? And now there's this dude on TikTok. I can't remember what his name was, but he was showing a red truck. And then people started speculating so badly about this poor dude who isn't connected to this case that they've taken down his TikTok account because they're just harassing this guy so much. Like, I feel like it's Candace who brought up the truck. But anyway, now she's like, I don't know. I mean, on the Dr. Phil show, she brought up some sort of blue minivan too. She brings up cars. That's what I'm saying. Oh. Gisela, type A, Energizer Bunny, AAA, 24/7.
But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. I mean, if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen.
Okay. I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. Don't you think you would say, I wish they would come forward and help us find our daughter? I wish they would care more about where Summer is. That would sound more appropriate to me. Not, I wish they'd come forward and explain themselves. It's so vague in the situation. You know what I mean? I know this interview right here has been analyzed to death, just about. I'm just looking at it because you got to sometimes go back to basics, look at the first interview, and be like, For instance, in the Gabby Petito case. Oh man, would I like to look at Bertolino's interviews from the beginning, because there must be so much interesting stuff that he said there that we missed because we were in it. Now if we go back, it'll be like, what? You said what now? Sorry, I didn't have it on screen for a second there. My bad.
Like to at least come forward and say what you've seen. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it. I think you can see it.
1 second. You tried to get you let a 5-year-old shave her head. What, with clippers? How is that even possible? Do you know how hard I had to work to learn how to shave my husband's head? Mr. Grizzly, I am his barber. I thank you very much. It's not easy. Okay? He trusts me a lot to do that. I style his hair, okay? But to use those clippers, I'm like, you're going to let a child use basically a 0 or a 1 and like, grrr. But that's also, I don't know about this whole thing. It doesn't matter. It could be the lice. I know this has been speculated, but I'm like, however, if you look at old TikToks, Summer's hair was like shaven and then she had like long pieces. So it was like a cool tomboy look. It wasn't like all messed up and out of sorts. She had her hair shaven and then she had a long piece. You know? Man, I keep forgetting to add them to the stream. I'm so sorry. But you can hear it, right? Or not? I find it so strange how they said Candace shaved her head so that Summer wouldn't feel bad. Like suddenly Candace is this major empath? Really? No.
She shaved her head to so she wouldn't feel bad, and but it didn't bother her at this point. Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to.
How do you know that right away? How do you know that right away? Tell us. Right away, you know, up, she was abducted. Not she tripped, fell, wandered off. Nope, abducted. What do you mean? Why are you saying that? I knew right away. Okay, just like you just knew everything, right? Law enforcement, they had it all wrong, but you knew. But tell us why and who and how.
They have to go through their, you know, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, you know, and I feel for them. But I just wish.
I am an empath. And so I hate it. It's my pet peeve when people pretend to have empathy. And that what I saw right there was like, oh man, they're limping around. I feel for them. Like, seriously, just stop trying to pretend that you have empathy for other people. For me, there's nothing worse than that. To be like, oh, shame. I'm so very sorry. You have empathy. Wait for it. Analyze that sentence. He has empathy for the searchers being out there for all those long hours. You have empathy for them because they're limping. Why are they limping around? They're limping around and just like, what, so tired because they're searching for your daughter? I would never say that. If I had a daughter, and I don't, but let's say Fury goes missing, my son, my cat, okay, no. If I had a daughter and she went missing, do you really think I'm going to sit back and watch from my porch basically and be like, oh, look at those searchers over there? Shame. They're limping around. I really feel for them. They should not do that. They're working too hard. It just doesn't make sense to me. Oh yeah, wait, I wanted to make one more comment was someone said something about wanted to be like a tomboy, right? It's so weird to me how I've covered this in a previous video, but Candace had long hair and Summer had longer hair, and then suddenly their hair's shaved. Okay, so yes, it could be the lice thing, it could be neglect, it could be whatever. There's so many reasons it could be. But another reason it could be, because I know a little thing or two about SA, and you know what that stands for by now. If this is a true crime channel, you should know what SA means. And I know as well, without spilling all the trauma and the tea, I know a little thing about that as well, even when you're a child. And what you try to do then is be like a boy. Why? Because it will make it stop in your mind. That's what you think. Well, this freaking predator likes little girls, so I'm going to be a little boy. Do you see what I mean? Hmm? You see that? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not incriminating anyone. I'm just saying, interesting how very much her look changed so quickly at such a young age.
Yes, there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way.
Not even
Just thankful
why.
for the
Wait.
person.
Hey. Sorry, I'm like, hi. um, the boys could have taken scissors to her hair, like kids do when they pick on each other, then shaved the back to even it out. That's true. The boys could have, except that did you see the eldest son's hair, especially in that interview with Don? Oh, his hair wasn't short. To say shave her hair like the boy's hair wasn't shaven either.
Or persons that's doing that, out of love,
I
and
appreciate it.
trying to get information and trying to get her found. We thank them from the bottom of our
That
hearts,
means a lot.
and we thank everybody who's trying so hard and praying so hard. And she's an awesome young lady, and we just want her back.
So many things I could say. So many things I could say. The first thing I want to say is Heidi, hello. Um, Heidi sent me some lovely incense, which I'm burning right now, and it makes my room smell wonderful. So thank you so much. Secondly, when Dawn says she's an awesome young lady, I feel triggered by that based on my own trauma. Just thinking, ew, she's 5 years old. Like, who says she's an awesome young lady? I'm sorry. It might be a language thing. It might be an American thing, but I'm like, ew, she's 5 years old. She's an awesome young lady. No, she's a little girl. She's a tiny little girl. She's 5 years old. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's always going to be haters, and it's always going to be that way in this world, and we just want to focus on the good friends and Christian people that are trying to help us and praying for us and praying for Summer. And we thank them from the bottom of our hearts. And that's the kind of people we try to relate with and socialize with.
Okay. We're not talking about socializing, Don. We're talking about finding your daughter. Shaving your head could be a form of protecting yourself from SA. Exactly. Soleo, you say it. That's summarizing exactly what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Exactly. It could be a way of protecting yourself from SA because you then feel like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to start dressing like a little boy from now on. Oh, yeah. Been there.
With. So we don't know anything about, no red truck, or we hardly know many of our neighbors. I mean, because we just try to be around good people. I mean, and we do have good people in this area. We found out since this.
Oh, you only found out since this all happened that you have good people in your area. But I thought you found out that actually there's 8 or more offenders living around you, which was a shock to Candace. But you've actually just found out there's really good people in the area.
This was all happened. We got some real good neighbors and good folks everywhere. But
The most important thing is to bring Summer home safe. I'm sorry that you.
It's so weird how she hesitates to say to bring Summer home safe. That was weird. The most important thing is to bring Summer home safe. What do you mean? So where is she? That means you know where she is, but or who's got her or whatever, who took her, but like to bring her home safe. Okay. And who's collecting the reward money? It's one of my questions. Oh my word.
Feel this way about us, but we love our children with everything we have. We've never went without, thanks to Summer's daddy and my husband. He's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around.
Okay, so who treats her like that when you're not around? They complained that the search helicopters kept them awake. Oh my word, you guys are triggering my memory because do you remember when Allison, the former friend, who's Hunter's mother, said that Candace was calling her on the evening that Summer went missing, calling her, and eventually she's like, "What?" And when she answers, she said that Candace had no emotion, that she was playing, like fiddling with a cap on her head, and just like, "Yeah, Summer's gone. Yeah, Summer's missing. Okay, I gotta go now. I gotta go to bed now because I gotta get up early to do a lie detector test." You're gonna go to bed? Like night night. Thanks so much for calling. Yeah, Summer's missing. Okay, I gotta go to sleep, gotta get up early. Night night. That's weird. Oh my word. But also, I wonder, was she ever hysterical or not? I don't think so. But Robin Lane, the Sabbath school teacher, who I don't see too many red flags with because I know a lot about Seventh day Adventist church, Sabbath school, Sunday school, Jewish school, religion, lots and lots of stuff went on there in my life and in my husband's former life. We've gone deep with that stuff, but that teacher, she seems naive. Like the way she's giggling with Chris McDonough and just like, oh my word, she was just so wonderful. She was like a daughter to me. I just feel like she's naive and not sure how to address this situation. She's just trying to show how loving she is and all that. I think that's my personal opinion. However, she said that, oh yeah, Candace called me and she was hysterical. Hysterical? And this is a lady who saw many Sundays, or sorry, Saturdays, Sabbath, Seventh day Adventist, many Saturdays, Sabbaths at the church. And then, so she knows their behavior and she says, Candace was hysterical. But even though in her mind Candace was hysterical, it's still, in any case, Robin only got out there 3 hours later or at 9 o'clock at night, and she couldn't even get to it because the do not cross line was already up and all that kind of stuff. Sorry if I'm missing some of your comments. Just talking my head off over here. Welcome to class.
Ever.
She loves to dance. She would always want me. She says, "Daddy, hold my hand so I can twirl," and she would just like to twirl and twirl and twirl until my arm got tired, But I put out there that one of Summer's favorite songs was Godzilla, and they say, and they're jumping all over me about past tense was, well, I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry to bring this one up, but this is where he said, I'm sorry about that. Just reminds me of Brian Laundrie on the Moab body cam when he's like, sorry about that speeding, sorry about that. All he was sorry for at that moment was the speeding and that things got so public. Oh boy. And even now it's like, oh, I don't mean to talk in past tense, man. But her favorite song was Godzilla. But why are we talking about her twirling and her favorite song? Are you trying to appear as though you're trying to tell us about her? No one asked. Tell us about Summer at this point. All right. I like it. It's like, huh? Exactly. You summarize all of our thoughts in one word. Huh? I know it's been said before, but past tense, it's so interesting. Especially, I wrote one down for you guys. I wrote so many things down, but here we go. She liked to swing. All the kids did. That's a sentence that Candace said. And I'm like, don't they swing anymore? She liked to swing. All the kids did. Okay, and now? Now the kids don't like to swing anymore? I don't know. Different ways of dealing with grief, but okay. Good job, Nightbot. Oh my word. I love when I see Nightbot and when you guys say hello to Nightbot. Did Candace not want to get off the car to go with Candace in the store? I mean, that's my other question. Did she not? It feels like she might have gone into the hippie house and they just don't want to say it because it's not the right place for a child to be. But I just felt a vibe when I was watching all the footage of it. I'm like, did she go in that store though? It's very interesting. Oh yeah, he said he would see Summer in the resurrection. He did. People in the South talk like that, believe it or not.
She also liked the song by New Breed. It was called House. My House. She sung that a lot of times when I play it on the TV. She loved to dance.
She liked to think of herself as a princess, and you know, and all that, like all young girls do. And
She loved Frozen. She loved to be that Elsa, and
I think
I think she can't remember any of the characters' names at that point. She loved to be that Elsa, and now she's like, oh damn, her face now. I can't remember anything else from Frozen. Sadly, I truly feel Summer was a payment. Ooh, me too, actually, a little bit. I mean, there's many theories. We're still hypothesizing, but still, I'm like, ooh. And I will go there. This is going to be an overtime episode, guys. If any of the mods are here and you got to go, don't worry about it. Don't worry. You know, we're here. We're good. Don't worry. I'm going overtime. That's what I'm basically saying. It's overtime tonight. That's Pete saying hi to Nightbot. Yeah. Hi, Nightbot. Just listen to what Don said recently on live about that. Yes. Ooh, yes. Listening to all of it is so hectic. Can you do an update on Chris Watt's case? Nikki is Mr. writing a letter in a protective custody, apparently to clear up some things. That feels like I read that months ago. Is that like new? I don't know. See, she likes long hair. Interesting.
she really loved to be in church because she felt a lot of love there, and I think you can't explain what that love is, but you feel it and you know it, you know, when you're young, and she felt that there, and she loved everybody in that church, or she loves everybody in that church. I should rephrase that because they'll tear that apart as past tense, and I apologize again for that. I hope she gets to come home, you know, and I hope she gets to be with our church family again.
our best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
Yeah, she looked up to
When
women that were.
she come to that church, she went looking for Robin. That was her favorite person.
Any woman that was professional, that
was pretty,
yeah,
beautiful.
she looked up to those kind of women.
That's a very odd statement from two parents. I mean, even for Don to sit next to his wife and say, any woman that was beautiful and professional, yeah, she looked up to them. Shame. In that moment, I feel sorry for Candace. I'm like, shame. What did he say? No one beautiful and professional around here. So any woman that was beautiful and professional, I'm just adding in some words so it makes sense so that you understand what I'm saying. Just saying. Yeah, she looked up to them like, okay. Damn. Mm-hmm.
You know, they were, the word I'm looking for, I can't think of it, but she looked up to them.
Stop it, adverts.
She'd give them a run for their money every day. She'd give them a run for their money. And there was times, you know, we'd be, you know, at our boys like, don't do this and don't do that. And next thing you know, a stick would come up and just whop them, you know, and it'd be like, Summer, don't do that.
Summer was the boss of the family.
She.
That little statement also makes me wonder if the boys retaliated. If Summer really was grabbing a stick and just whopping the boys from the back, at some point, there's 3 boys and 1 Summer. That is another theory that I have is what if something went wrong between the kids? And maybe that's the cover-up, which is sad. But, like, I don't know. I'm just reading some of your comments there.
Typical girl.
When they get out of line, she'd put them in line.
She'd do her best.
She loved to play in the mud and the water and swing on her swing and enjoy dirt.
When I run the lawnmower around, she would run behind me. When the boys run their bikes around, she, as fast as that little bike could go, she would be behind them running and keeping up with them, no problem. You know, she loved to run.
Oh, did she now? So she could run pretty far, pretty fast, huh? Which is what I'm saying sometimes. What if she really, I don't know, got shouted at, got anything. Something happened that made this little girl go, you know what, I'm getting out of here. I don't know. If you guys, have you ever been there as a kid where you're like, that's it, I'm packing my bags. And I used to watch these cartoons and you see the cartoons with a stick with a material at the end and they carry their like little satchel like that. You know, they put all their stuff in that little material and they just walk around like that. Do you know what I'm talking about? I was like, I'm going to do that. I thought about that. So if she did that and he's like, she likes to run, Wait, there was someone says, oh yeah, here we go. Mary says, who is Hunter? I may have missed something. Hunter is the son of Ellie, a former friend of Candace. I would say Candace and Dawn, but mostly of Candace. Hunter is a 15-year-old boy who went to the swimming hole, even though it wasn't an official swimming hole, the watering hole near the horse stables on Summer's last day seen alive. Yes, very important for Timeline to even hear a little bit of what Hunter has to say, because it just makes it very interesting to hear all these different sides, you know?
She just loved to run, and she could pull herself up on that swing, her full body weight with her two hands, and she could do that. None of the other boys can do that, but she can.
Was she in school yet?
No,
No.
she's going this year.
This was supposed to be her first year of
She's been,
kindergarten.
we did all the, what?
I took care of everything.
Yeah.
I had her already took on all of her shots and registered in the school for ready for this year.
I just
Boy, oh boy, would I like to fact check that. Did you really register her? Was she really going to school? Man, if they could verify that, that would be great too. Maybe someone was letting anger out from being neglected. That is another option. A little bit of rage going on, huh? Yes. Okay. Maybe Summer had a reason to whack them. Maybe. I mean, shame. 3 boys, 1 girl. They're all older than her. How far did they think they were going with that little sack on a stick? Lol. I know. And what did they pack in there? Are there any snacks?
never expected for anyone to get a hold of my heart like she has, because I try to guard my heart as much as I can, but she holds my heart in her little hands, and I love her.
And that would make Candace exceptionally jealous. If you know about the DV incident, was that in October 2020? I gotta go back to my timeline, but there were a few incidents between Dawn and Candace. It's because Candace is very, very, very jealous and possessive. And when he went to visit his sister, she was like, yeah, there's a guy here. So Don came racing, he says, cross country back to see what the heck was going on there. Booked in there, argued with everyone, pushed Candace down. That's where she wrote that order of protection and said she's fearing for her life and her children. Okay, so why I'm saying that is because, firstly, Candace is a very jealous and possessive type. So that could and probably would extend even to her daughter. Why do I say that? Is also because, who said that? I watched this interview somewhere. I've watched so much content of this, but there was somewhere that I've seen it said that when Candace was pregnant and she found out she was going to have a girl, she was so afraid of how much Dawn would attach to that little girl that the agreement was that Candace, no, the Grandma Candy, her mother, would adopt Summer. That's interesting to me. Of like, huh. And where is the grandmother now? I know people have said she has been back. She's visited a bit and she's gone again, and now I don't know. She's looking after a relative. It's all very interesting. Anyway, let's carry on.
With all my heart. I'd do anything to have her back.
Your little girl.
If there's any way, if you can find it in your heart, to please release her somehow. I don't know how you might do that. I mean, you're probably...
Very interesting words, to please release her. I don't know how you might do that. I mean, is she part of some kind of ring or what? You know what I mean? Let's say, theoretically, speculatively, she's been sold into a you-know-what ring. This is not something new. This happens over and over again in just about every generation. So if she's sold into a ring, there's no way they can release her. Do you know what I mean? Interesting. Did he just mention the little hands? Oh, yeah, he did.
Scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And just please have mercy on her, and and us and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please please don't hurt her. Please let her come home.
Very little emotion from Candace right here, but she's probably on something. Yes, would be interesting to analyze talk of other parents whose child later found to see if they ever spoke of a child in past tense before the child was found. Only Letitia Stauch comes to mind, speaking of Gannon Stauch, but that was in past tense and that was sinister. So Chris Watts too. Same sort of thing. So yep. Thank you so much, by the way, for that super sticker. I really appreciate it. It is active in these live streams, guys. If you wanna, thank you so much.
Home. That she's my biggest fear is, you know, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. 'Cause a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone?" You know.
See, a lot of times the boys would be in there and then she'd be outside and they say, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her alone?"
Go get Summer now, and that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. And
She loved to be outside.
And I'm so afraid.
So, okay. Thank you so much, Hungry Helmet. Speaking in past tense and then speaking to someone to let her go? What? Right? It's like there was a little contract or a little sale. I don't know. It's just where my mind goes when I hear this. To say that she was an outdoor person, she just loved to be outside. Then why did she ask to go inside to be with the boys, supposedly on this day? Do you know what I mean? She'd just been outside all day swimming. Well, in the car, a lot of time in the car, swimming. I'll show you the TikTok in a moment. Swimming, doing a thing. We're still going to talk about so stay around, stick around. We're talking about the swimming. Okay, I was a competitive swimmer for 12 years. And I know a little thing or two about this dry drowning and swimming and analyzing her swim. Could she really swim? Ooh, we're going to talk about that. But let's just finish this. But to say she was an outdoor person, she just really hated to be inside. Then why did she ask to go inside when she was outside planting flowers?
That she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and I'm afraid that she won't be able to, I'm locked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead.
This is the way that I would talk about my cat being adopted by someone. And that did happen when we emigrated. My cat was too old to actually bring on an airplane. Shame, the stress of that, the quarantine period, the whole thing. No. So I'm I would talk about my cat that way. I'm like, oh, shame. I hope she's fine. I hope she could play outside. I hope she's getting nice treats. But yet you know what she is. Being adopted or new ownership. Do you know what I mean? Anyway.
But it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity. I just want to focus on the positive, because it's so easy to get, lost in that negativity and stuff, and it's just not worth it. So
I can't stand it when people say lost in that negativity. I know what they mean, but it's not negativity. It's a desperation to find a little girl. That's what it is. Giz Elsa, let it go.
I appreciate y'all, the good things you say, and your prayers. That's awesome.
When my little sister came missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee. I don't know all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope that they find her too and bring her home safely too.
Yeah, there's no...
Two? Oh, you just gotta bring that up. Just oh yeah, my sister's gone, but I hope they find her too. Almost like they know they're gonna find Summer or not. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It just all feels very, very strange to me.
There's nothing. I mean, she disappeared without a trace. They haven't found anything, haven't found a body, nothing. And you know, when you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. You know, I want to keep hope, but sometimes I lose hope,
Lose it.
and I think, well, maybe we won't never see her again. You know, so I start thinking in past tense. Sorry, but I'm trying to keep hope up. I'm trying to keep my prayers up and all that.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm just like, normally some kind of instinct kicks in if your child is in grave, grave danger or has gone missing, been abducted, whatever it may be. Like, when did they ever go out there and search for Summer? Like, for real, like, go out there. There's also this question of sending the boys out to look for Summer. Go out there and holler for her. But, like, if you really thought that there was imminent danger, someone had just taken Summer that was lurking in the forest, would you really send your 3 boys into the creek in the forest to look for her? My goodness. Okay, let's put the screen off. Now I want to show you this, which is on here. Okay, so this is from Candace's TikTok. It's just going to replay and replay. Let's go like this. Okay, so this is June 15th, the last day that Summer was alive. Now, I'm going to get to the swimming part in a moment. Look at that outfit. Number 1, it's a skirt, it's a tank top, it's not a bathing suit, as she says. I don't know why that is. I don't know. And at what point did she change? And why did she change in a full-blown tracksuit? I don't know. There's so many questions just about that day. Now, about the swimming. So, I was a competitive swimmer for 12 years. I also did, when I was 6, my parents were crazy. They signed me up for life saving when I was 6, before grade 1. That was hectic. It really was. For a 6-year-old to try and dive down and pick up those dummies, they're very heavy. It was quite hectic, but I was pretty proud of myself. I did that, the CPR thing as a 6-year-old playing doctor, you know, but it was very serious. Thank you so much. Such a sad story. I hope they find Summer. Thanks for sharing your wise thoughts on this case. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate that. So the swimming for me was from age 6 until 18. I took it very, very seriously. It's how I thought I'm going to get away from South Africa, shall I say, but from home. It's not about South Africa. It's just away, just to a new place, a new and brighter place. A type A heaven, a swimming camp, a swimming facility. Actually, I wanted to go to Fort Lauderdale. I went there when I was 10, turning 11, swam there, right? Point is, I've done a lot of swimming in my life, right? And how old am I now? 37. So 5 years ago, I was coaching 5-year-olds to swim. Between the age of 3 and 9, I was coaching kids to swim, and I was also coaching adult African people who had never learned to swim. They were so scared of water. I taught them how to swim too. So when they talk about this dry drowning, that's really a media word, but I understand what they're trying to say. There's this dry drowning or secondary drowning. Those are 2 different things, and we can look at that if you want. However, what I want to say is, if you watch Summer here, the way that she is paddling around like that, those movements, she doesn't know how to swim. And you tell me how such neglectful parents, I'm sorry to say it like that, when are they teaching their children how to swim? Do you know what I mean? You don't just let them get in the water and go, and especially not a watering hole or a lake or a pond or a stream or just wherever they want. Children can slip under the water quickly. And I even taught shame, like, oh my word, this was the hardest job I think I had, teaching orphans how to swim. Oh my word, they were the sweetest things in the world. Traumatized, came from terrible homes, abused, and now they're learning something new. Okay, so you say to them, okay, hold your breath, here we go, 3, 2, 1, and you go under the water. Some of them just they couldn't do that. So they suck in water through their nose and mouth and like swallow a lot of water. But if they're under there for 10 to 15 seconds, which is what Hunter said he saw Summer under the water for 10 to 15 seconds, that isn't so much of a threat. Now, 2 minutes, a minute or two, that's hectic if you're under the age of 5, especially. Of course, as an adult as well, don't go underwater and swallow a bunch of water for 2 minutes. I'm just saying 10 to 15 seconds. But also, how deep was she and what was going on? But also, why is she so unsupervised by her mother and grandmother? Why is Hunter the one responsible for looking out for her? And especially after drinking an alcoholic drink, allegedly. So if you just look at her movements here, how she's swimming, it's not bad. She's got potential. But shame, she mustn't go anywhere where she can't stand up at all. This is all fun and games and wild times until you can't actually stand up anymore. Like that. That's all fine. Need some coaching, need some help. But safety, that is the thing. If their house is in the state that it's in, do you really think that they prioritize safety? And water safety is such a thing. So here I really worry for Summer. And my theory and how I see her in the car really could be that she swallowed a heck of a lot of water. And what happens then, which is secondary drowning, this is actually more dry drowning, which is, there's a proper word for that. Hold on. What could happen is if a tremendous amount of water was swallowed and it wasn't 10 to 15 seconds, but let's say it was more like 45 to 60 or something like that. Then what happens is they would have, within the first hour, within 1 hour of chugging down all that water, they would have difficulty breathing or speaking, irritability or unusual behavior, coughing, chest pain, low energy or sleepiness after a water incident. And so what I'm saying is that soda on the back and the sweets might have been their way to try to get her to revive her energy on the way home. Just like drop Hunter off, tell Ellie, no, you can't say goodbye. We got to go now. We got groceries to offload. Also for them to say that her hands, are her hands still up, huh? Are your hands still up when they were filming her in the back of the car with that famous photo? Are her hands still up? Because isn't it so cute how she sleeps just like Donnie? Or are you trying to keep her hands above her head so she can friggin' breathe? It's just another theory I have. So to say if she was having difficulty breathing or speaking, like just acting a little out of sorts, they would be quite shocked as well. I've seen that irritability or unusual behavior. They could get quite angry. And then even, getting sweets or soda, like, shame, like have some energy, like don't pass out, don't faint. They could look like they're fainting and maybe they just seem really tired. So you want to get them some sugar after the slushies and all that, especially because they haven't eaten either. They say if you do see symptoms of, I'm trying to find the right word for dry drowning. I wrote it down. But if you see symptoms of it, you need to immediately go to the emergency room. And you know what I think is sad? That they were at the emergency room that day and they were at Walgreens getting grandma's prescription. You could have just gone back there. You were there already twice that day. Why not just go back there and just check? Right? But they say in the meantime, try to keep yourself or your child calm for the duration of the, here's the word, laryngospasm. It's when your the air pipes, the muscles around your windpipe actually contract. That's what happens in this dry drowning scenario. And it makes it really difficult to speak, as they say, to breathe. You might just be wheezing a bit, and within an hour, you're going to see these symptoms. Once the person is stable, they'll be taken to the hospital for observation. Having symptoms of dry drowning after a submersion incident requires medical observation to make sure that regular breathing resumes and to rule out other conditions, such as secondary drowning or bacterial pneumonia. A chest x-ray or evaluation by a pulmonary specialist may be necessary to rule out water in the lungs. Dry drowning is a type of drowning which is one of the leading causes of death in young children. Yes, a lot of people die from drowning. This is why water safety is such a thing. If you got kids, make sure take them to swimming lessons. Unfortunately, the Netherlands is a lack of swimming pools. There are swimming pools, but I'm like, take them for swimming lessons. But you can minimize the chances of drowning by doing your best to prevent water accidents altogether. In the case of children 2 years old and younger, any water submersion is a serious risk, and she was only 5, okay? Even if a child is just under the water for a minute or two, which is a long time, take them straight to the emergency room after a water scare. Supervise children who are under 4 years old in any body of water. This includes the bathtub. They should never swim or bathe unassisted. I mean, why couldn't she just even have a life jacket? Do you know what I mean? People who are treated immediately when symptoms of dry drowning occur have a high probability of recovering with no lasting side effects. The most important thing to guarantee a good outcome is to carefully watch for symptoms after a water incident. The minute symptoms occur, call for emergency assistance. Do not try to wait it out. So, okay, here's the word. I found it. Post-immersion syndrome. That's what it's actually called. It's not called dry drowning, but that's what we know it as. It makes sense. But post-immersion syndrome. And although it's rare, it does happen. It occurs in children, mostly. While 95% of children are fine after accidentally slipping underwater, it's important to be vigilant and aware of drowning symptoms that can happen once your child appears safe and dry. I mean, yes, exactly. The water hole was really dirty water with rubbish. Summer might have got sick from swallowing it. Yeah, Hunter was even nervous to say the watering hole. He didn't want to call it that because he's like, it's not an official watering hole, but she swam there. Now, the clothes are another mix-up, but so are Hunter's clothes, which I want to show you here. So there's Summer doing a thing. Don't go too deep. And right over here, see this? This is Hunter. Now, what is his story? He saw Summer, oh my word, she's under the water for 10 to 15 seconds. How do you know that? How do you know she's underwater for 10 to 15 seconds if you only just noticed she's underwater? But what did he say? He said, I ripped off my shirt and went in to get her. Okay, but bro, your shirt's already off here. Your shirt's off, bro. So did you put it back on and then take it back off to just run into the water? Like David Hasselhoff, for what? Not that we know of. Did she not eat besides maybe some candy? Even to say she had a slushie, there's candy and soda on the back seat, and grandma gave her a piece of candy. There's so much candy going on. Like, where's the food? Oh my word. It would take at least 10 seconds just to get her. And Hunter said within 4 seconds, with like 4 or 5 seconds, he was in and got her. And that's also not possible. It's also not possible. Yes, it's an old video. I'm old on the case. I'm going back to basics. I don't know why they're so worried also about the gang signs he's pulling. But anyway. And this little scene here, why are they focusing so much? Maybe it's just like pretty berries, you know what I mean? But why? But if they had taken Summer for emergency care, what else would staff have found? Ooh, that's interesting. Broken dishes. Thank you so much for that. What else would they have found? Ooh, imagine it. You just don't know. You don't know. So these little berries they focus on. Interesting. Those little berries, if it's large volumes, if they're growing all over the place, could speculatively make the water a little bit toxic. If you look up, I don't know the exact name of these berries, but we looked it up. And if you look at these berries, and there's so many of them, and some of the, the toxins seep into the water or the soil surrounding the water, even the water could be a little bit toxic. But anyway, there's the berries. So there's that. Right? See, his shirt is off already. His shirt is off. He looks older. He looks older. And he's 15. Most children love to use arm swimmies, even if they can't swim. It's odd they had no swim tubes. We had a creek on our property and they tubed a lot. You know what I had? A poly otter. Do you remember those things? Those things were so cool. Lieutenant Peter Pranza and Rochelle, do you remember poly otters? Anyone else? Poly otter. That was my jam. That water is not that toxic. How do we know? It might not be that toxic, but I think it's less about the toxicity than it is about maybe losing her balance or going a little deeper than she should have and not being able to swim, because that gets real scary for kids real quick. I've had to grab kids you grab them like under the arm here, like you grab them out as fast as you can and put them on the side of the pool many a time. I used to coach from like 1 o'clock in the afternoon until like 7 o'clock at night. And a lot of kids. There's like 5 kids every half an hour. So a lot of kids every day. And in every session, each one lasts half an hour. There's at least one kid that you got to have to save from slipping under for too long. Definitely. You stand with them and you watch them and you're teaching them things and they're kicking with a kickboard and they're learning to dive and they're learning to swim. But you got to keep your eye on them at all times because they're busybodies. They're busy and they could just actually slip under for too long and that's not good. Okay, so swimming, playing, doing the thing. Okay, so there's that. I didn't play the sound. Oh, sorry, my bad. I forgot it's actually here on my, it's right here. Planting flowers at the exact same day. La la, la la la. I like the way you said. Okay. The grandma wrote to Emma, I believe, that Summer was ill on the way home in the car. Ooh. Maybe Sweet Summer ate some poison berries. You never know. She is now stood up and water past her middle. Yes, and imagine if she just went a little bit. She isn't videotaping the bus. She just wasn't paying attention to watch. Okay. Look at us go over time. Can you believe it? Let me just make sure that I've got my notes here. I just want to show you one more thing, which is this one. This one bothers me a lot, this video right here. Yes, it's an old video, everyone, but this video bothers me a lot because I really find it weird how this barrel says for sale. And I know people are also analyzing it now, but when I first saw this, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's scary. It's like an advert to me of a 5-year-old. Barefoot dancing in the rain. It's fine, but it could be a signal. I don't know for what, but like there's this for sale thing. And then she's twirling. It's like her mom's telling her what to do. There's a song playing, of course. Yeah, it happens quick, right? And then she runs off, and then you could see she looks back at her mom, and the mom says, no, come back. You can just imagine. Come back and dance on that exact thing. She runs off again. Then she gets called, and she comes back. Shame. Yes, those flirtations for the grandkids when they were younger. 4 inches of water to drown, it can happen quick. Yes. Dawn claims it was an ad for puppies. Was it though? And then when Chris McDonough was at the house, that barrel was on its side. So did you notice that? That was interesting too. Yeah, and the empty Raid can. I mean, what? Never forget this video. Infill thing can step on anything. Yep. Yes, you made it to a live show. Welcome. Summertime. Why not keep swimming? Tubes, arm floats, and towels in the trunk. I know, right? Well, safety was not their main priority. What a mess inside and outside the house. Okay, so we've seen that. There's that. I mean, I've done a whole analysis for myself here on this TikTok because I'm like, what is going on here? My word. I mean, this one is freaking scary. I can't play the sound, otherwise YouTube will be like, no. That's Candace, the whole time on the right. And that's another little girl, my friend's girl. That's what she says. My friend's, what does she say here? Me and my friend's girl. Love you, girl. Yeah, that just scares me a little bit. Sorry, but it does. Bad vibes. So there's that. There's the TikTok. And then, wait for it. What I want to show you. Hold on. Oh, say, oh my word. She's such a cutie. That's creepy. It's creepy, right? On her bare feet. I want to help them clean up the property. There you go. You're triggering the right thing now. I'm like, what am I trying to show you again? I'm trying to show you the property. So here we go. I know. The people with a Summer Wells degree. You at the back of the class. I know you know all about this. Okay, but watch this. For those who don't know, let's just see. The Don Wells family official has a YouTube account. And I wanted to show you. Wait, you guys have seen the staircase before, right? Oh man, I had a picture of it before. Do you remember it? How it looked before? It was very, very hectic. But now it's renewed, which I find so strange. Here we go. I don't think there's any sound on here. Okay, let's just pause it. So they say continuing the new construction. Right. Wyatt, Waylon, and Josie. Okay. They're trying to get some order into the hoarding house. There is the stairs, but remember, it used to be like really dodgy to get in there. They've been getting lots of donations. I get it, but don't you find it a bit of a red flag? How this railing is like this brand new railing, like a safety railing, which wasn't there before. Which we could speculate. What if Summer fell down the stairs? Maybe she fainted. Maybe she really didn't feel well. Let's add up everything. What if there was some water that she chugged down there, right? The dry drowning stuff, right? And then post-immersion syndrome, feeling really weak. Instead of playing outside that day, she decides, can I please just go inside and just sit with my brothers? Sure. Then she wanders off downstairs and falls down the stairs. I mean, that's another thing. That's another possibility. And now they have the safety railing. I don't know. My goodness. Hello to Wendy. Nice to meet you. You have a great show. I'm a former PI and married to a criminal defense. Dwight Dryskill. Wow, okay. Oh, Stefan, I missed your message there. Looks like another house, right? Okay, so new railing. Look at that. They show it from all angles because look at that new railing, people. Okay, I gotta sip some water. How many angles do they want to show it from? If you look at other videos of their new construction, they definitely don't focus on one item this much, on one thing. And look, it blocks it from, wait, is this mouse pointer showing? From here, from the wall already. They're showing it. Here, they're showing how safe it really is now. There's a screwdriver on there. I see it. Very safe now to enter and exit this. And it really wasn't really before, but okay. Good job, guys. Good job. What do you think? Don Wells family official. We're almost done. We're 1 hour 32, I suppose. I'm just going to go over my notes and make sure I said everything that I wanted to say tonight. We can always do this again. Hold on. I want to show. Where is more of this house? Yeah, here we go. I showed you this in the last video, but for someone, if some of you didn't see it, work inside the house, November 29th, 2021. That's not very long ago. Okay, looking good, guys. You got your microwave, you got your air fryer, you got your pans, you got dish soap. Okay, looking like a home now. There's a loaf of bread, things in the pantry. And I'm sure CPS has told them they've got to do this, of course. You got to clean up your act, otherwise you'll never see your boys again. So they're doing that. There's 2 plates on the wall and they both say grandma. Okay. Pantry stocked. Okay. Prayer changes things. Thank you to everyone helping us restore our family and find our daughter, Summer Moon Utah Wells. FindSummerWells.com. Okay. So that's the renovations. Now, let's see what else. If you haven't seen FindSummerWells.com, you can go there. They also put the whole narrative of we came home and then me and my mom, the boys were watching YouTube like they always do. But she said watching TV. Were they watching YouTube on TV? I don't know, but they were watching YouTube like they always do. My mom says, let's rearrange and plant the flowers. She goes, well, we know the boys aren't going to help us. I know Summer will. So I yelled for Summer, but I thought Summer was just there after the swim. She hopped right up from after swimming and wanted to be there. This is on the website, okay? That's what I'm looking at right here. That's what I'm reading. But it's not great for you to see. It's not so big. Oh, let me put another banner on quickly. Hold on. Let's put this one on. Okay. So even the narrative on here, I'm like, what? Okay, so we know the boys are going to help us. Why? Why are the boys not going to help you at all? You must tell them to, right? The flowers were put in planters next to Grandma Candy's camper with Summer handling some of the toss. She put all the rocks on top with Chase in there. She did all the rocks herself. We went into Grandma's after we were done. She asked Grandma for a piece of candy. Really? After a whole day of eating who knows what, Skittles, Flashy, whatever, she's still, shame. She's only having candy then? Like, where's lunch? Why is she not asking? I'm not blaming Summer. I'm just saying, where's lunch? Like, oh, shame. She asked Grandma for a piece of candy. And what was that candy? Grandma gave her a piece of candy. She told me she wanted to go back over with her brothers, so I literally walked her halfway between the camper and the house. This is not from the website. I'm just comparing quickly. I watched her go in the door. I could see her brothers at the kitchen table. When she went in, I walked over and yelled at the boys. I said, "Watch, Summer. I'll be right back. I've got to fix Mom's knee brace." I was standing right there at the camper. I was over there fixing it. Literally, you can see my house from the camper door. Yes, so this time it's not all the way over there. She did not walk back out that front door. So I went down there and I searched. I looked everywhere I could. And then I went through the house and I kept calling for her, yelling for her, everything. I came out here outside yelling for her, everything else, and she was nowhere. So I called Dawn because I was freaking out. She called Dawn first, not 911 first. Some people have speculated about that, but that's interesting. How interesting is it also, now that comes to mind, that Hunter says when they were going through the drive-thru at Walgreens that Candace got a phone call. It was Dawn. She told everyone in the car to keep quiet. And then Dawn said there's been some creeper hanging around their property for the last week or so, like looking for abducting children. That's so weird. That is such a weird story, that. I've only seen a few succulents and a lot of weeds. Yep. On that one picture, there are 2 plants at the back that have got like pink flowers, but she also said they were planting cactus in a separate interview, and I don't see cactus. Unless she thinks succulents are cactus. Anyway, she said, I can't find Summer. Get home now. He was like, call 911. So I dropped my phone because I had to run over and get Mom's phone and dial 911. Because her AT&T phone is the only one that works out here to call 911. Now, that is also just not true, because can't you call 911 from freaking anywhere? Isn't that the point? That you don't need to rely on a cell phone provider. You can find any old cell phone. This has happened in many cases. A discarded cell phone, hopefully turn that thing on and just dial 911. I don't think it's like, oh, I dropped my phone, so then I went there and I used Grandma's phone. Hunter said is, all I know, she never left the yard. Oh, yes. Doug, I agree with you. Cornbread Muffy, a creeper? I can't even type with that straight face. The odd thing about that is being suspicious of the phone call. This 911 thing makes no sense to me. I mean, it's right there. It's in writing on their website. And I'm like, if they had a lawyer, Bertolina, no, if they had a lawyer, it would be like, what are you saying? Like, oh no, I couldn't. I dropped my phone. And then, so I dropped my phone because I had to run over. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. The whole sentence makes no sense. So I called them and told them what's going on. Before the cops even came out, I went down and told my neighbors, Summer's missing. Will you help me look? Just in case she did wander off. But I knew in the back of my mind she's never wandered off. She never went nowhere without me. Except sometimes they shouted at the boys and said, where the heck is Summer? Why you leave her out there alone? She'll ask me to do something before she even goes and does it. Doubtful. And she's scared to go in the woods herself because we've told her time and time again because of the bears and snakes. Oh, you projected the fear on her, but she's not scared. That's what I'm hearing. I sent the older boys down through the creek. Why? If you think someone's just taken her, why are you sending your young boys through the creek? The boys, it wouldn't help with the flowers, but they're going to help find their sister in a creek where she could have just been taken by some dodgy dude. If they've got a walkie-talkie and their buck knife, they can go down through there. I sent them all searching, and I went out in my mom's truck and went all the way down by the church. Then went all the way down the other way, and I didn't see nobody even out and about. Then I went all the way back in the holler as far as the truck could go, and I didn't see nothing back in there either. When I was coming back out of the holler, the cops were coming up in my driveway, so I just followed them up in here. I don't recall if Don was here before the police got here, or if he knew he was here at the same time they showed up. We searched everywhere we could possibly search. They were out here for 3 or 4 days straight, searching 5,000 square acres. They searched all this mountain terrain all the way down through here. Well, not really, because only now are they searching areas which they couldn't search before. They smile to put on a good show, but other than that, I know they're really upset. They ask me every day, is Summer coming home today? I can't answer that. I don't know. I find myself sitting out here until midnight or 1 o'clock at night. Until midnight or 1 o'clock at night. That's that's very funny. It's just like until midnight or 1 o'clock at night. Listen, we're on Florida time over here. At midnight or at 1 o'clock at night, just hoping that whoever took her or whatever happened, she'll come wandering back up the driveway to us. Candace Wells. Again, I'm not trying to attack the parents. I'm looking at the information and I'm like, like some of it just doesn't make sense. If one of my kids went missing, you really think I'm going to let the others out of my sight? That's what I'm thinking. Why would she be like, okay, everyone go. Take your walkie-talkie now and your buck knife and get out of here. No, I don't know. I'd love for you to interview Dawn. Can you imagine? I think I could do it. Okay, let me not talk too fast. Or too, what do you call it? Let me not talk. What do you call it? What's the right saying? Just like, ooh, let me not jinx it. You know what I mean? He'll be like, hello, I'm here. Why did she leave the other kids alone? Okay, I'm going to have a quick sip of this. Very nice, very nice. And I almost dropped. I'm like, move the glass. Like, okay, glass, just like, sure, don't drop now. I've got water, I've got the gin, I've got everything. Phones, notepads. This desk is full. The other thing I want to say is the story of 2 of the older boys going with Don to work. Then there's the question of, did Don even go to work? Then there's the question of, what was the younger boy doing? And even at the prayer vigil that they held for summer, the younger one wasn't there. That's so weird. Where was he? Was he with the grandma, or what was going on? I agreed. I would suddenly have a use for those kids. Line up. Hook up. Stay with me. Done. I think H called Candace first that day. If it's true, they hadn't talked for months, because that's Hunter, right? Only had his phone a few weeks, so Candace wouldn't have his number. I think he called for a ride. Interesting. Interesting. So that is what's on there. Then there's a blog, there's media, there's flyers, there's questions. I mean, my goodness. Shane, did you guys see that new video of Summer? I'm sure you've seen it. It's everywhere. A lot of you have never heard her speak, supposedly. That's what I've heard. People say she didn't speak. Here she speaks.
Aw, I know if she was here, she would say, "You're welcome."
Shame. So again.
Thank you, Miss Chris. Thank you, Miss Chris.
Shame. Oh my word. She spoke there. Because there was a lot of theory going around of that she couldn't speak. Man, I could tell you so many things. I won't insert myself. Okay, I won't say. So there's that. Could Summer be disguised? If someone is disguising Summer, this is how she might look. Excuse me? What are they saying? If someone is disguising Summer, this is how she might look. That is what the title of that video I just showed you is on the Find Summer Wells blog post. If someone is disguising Summer, this is how she might look. Thank you, everyone that's helping us restore our family and find our daughter. Why disguising? Why do they say that? Yeah, there are 2 more clips with her speaking. Okay. I've seen some clips of her, right? Is it here? I don't know if it's on this site that I am right now. But I saw lots of clips of people saying she never speaks, but then I saw some of her speaking. Especially TikToks, right? Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. Marge Kathleen says, Angie girl, I see your comment. So let me see what I missed. Okay, there we go. It was you that I put up there. Can you see me? Can you see me? I don't know. Hi. Okay, so that's interesting to say. If that is such a weird sentence that I just stumbled on here, just saying, it just hit me now. If someone is disguising Summer, this is how she might look. I don't get it. That doesn't make sense. That's Summer. What do you mean disguising her? Excuse me. There's a memories. Okay, there's all sorts of things here. But then let's just go over my notes quickly. I went over that. We're just methodically working our way through the notebook quickly with this major overtime. We will not go more than 15 more minutes. Maybe it's only 5. We'll see now. Post-immersion syndrome, yes. Yes, who taught them how to swim? No one. What about food? Who feeds the dogs? Was Candace hysterical, or does she show emotion? Ah, there's that as well. So when they asked, when Don Wells was interviewed and asked about his son, who's also called Donald Wesley Wells, they asked about his son's criminal records. He said, no, man, where he lives there in Utah, it's just like it was implying that they're super strict out there. You know what I mean? That if it's like he's 19 and the girlfriend's like 17, then naughty, he's going to get a criminal record. Except if you actually do a background check, that girl was 12. Like 12 when he was what, 21, I think. So even that is like, oh damn, that's a big lie. That was the biggest lie I've ever seen Don tell. I've seen lots of lies. So here we go. Donald Wesley Wells, registration number 1285457. That's, I think, his offender registration number. Born on, I hope I'm saying this all right, I've just got scribbled notes, 12th of the 6th, 1986. His address, this is just a random fact. He's like half a mile from, you know, that butterfly wall where Gabby Petito's last photo was from on her Instagram? He lives like a half a mile from there. Isn't that so weird? It's just interesting. It's random. It's got nothing connected to Gabby Petito. I'm just saying, when I saw his address, I'm like, Ogden. I know Ogden, Gabby Petito. And I'm like, how far is it from that wall? Like half a mile? So Don said, Utah criminal past, a Mormon state. I call it the moron state. But there's been several changes over the years, right? He said, he's 18, she's 17. In Utah, you're probably never getting out. Here in Tennessee, there's got to be so many years difference between that. Only 18 months or a year between them. Except, no. He was 21. Wait. Don said he was 18 or 19 and she was 16. But actually, he was 21. And the person who he offended was 12. Now, oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing the PayPal link, mods. That is very important because that's the most direct way to support me. Thank you so much. So, yes, Don and Candace both have children from before they met. And yes, they've only been married since Summer was a baby. So they had 3 boys, then Summer, then got married. So there's that. But from previous relationships and previous children, Donald Wesley Wells is one of Don's sons. He has a offender record, and it's several. It's not just one time. But then there's one other interesting thing that I need your help with. You Grizzlies, you in America, please, on my word. Because I'm in the Netherlands. And VPN or not, I cannot do the background checks that you guys can do. So am I moving to Florida or what? Hey, JB. Brian Enton. Someone was saying we should do a map time of Brian Enton. Wouldn't that be so funny? He's here, he's there, because he's everywhere. So what I need help with is, if you look up the property, 110 Ben Hill Road, Rogersville, Tennessee. There's some very interesting history just for the property of whose name it was in before, how Don got it, and all that. But you know who was registered as living there before was Donald Wesley Wells Jr., Don's son, and a friend. Now that friend, some of you have mentioned him in the comments, Christopher Marcos. We need to look into that friend and Donald Wesley Wells. I'm just saying, what if Summer's there? What if Summer's just living with her half-brother then? I don't know. And they wait. I'm just going to say something wild and just waiting for reward money or something. We don't know. But this other friend, man, Christopher Marcos, was listed as living at this property, 110 Ben Hill Road, like he's on the official name list there. That's so weird. And he is a former, well, he's an offender. I can't say former because who knows what he's up to now. But he's got an offender record. Poor Summer reminds me of the little match girl in Dickens' characters. First time watching your channel and sub. Thank you so much, Broken Dishes. Cool name, Broken Dishes. And thank you for that super sticker. I really appreciate it. Would I write the address out? Sure. 110 Ben Hill Road, Rogersville, Tennessee. We did some map time of it as well. And it's in the Beach Creek community. It's Summer Wells' home, okay? If you look up the property, but what I need you to background check. Actually, I just need access because I have a VPN. If someone has access to a, what is it called? Truth Finder or a background check account. Oh my word. And if I could just look again, I've looked before, but then I've been locked out because I'm from the Netherlands. They're like naughty. So it was so interesting to see. Wait, what? So he's living in Ogden in Utah, but then there's this other friend. Now, where's the friend? Where's the friend? That's all I want to know. I just want to know, where is he at? What's he doing now? Did he maybe come visit? It's someone they know well who hasn't really been mentioned. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, out of Tridal Night. No problem. Yes, Angela, that's what I'm saying. He's a registered SO, and Don, his dad, played it off as, no, man, he was like 19 and the girl was like 18, or like, when he's like 18 and she's 16. But that's not the case. If you look at his SO, registered SO record, he was 21 and the girl was 12. Yes, he's been in and out of prison. Okay, so that is a big lie, number one. Huge. And number two, he's also got this friend, Christopher Marcos, who's like a family friend, I would say, just based on that he was also registered at the property. It's weird. And he is, go look, you'll see. And I'm like, whoa, he's also one of those, he's also got a registered SO record. Quite extensive. So look into that. Oh, thank you, Rotan. It's so nice to see you. Here's the address, everyone. I'm going to type the name out. Marcos, I think that's how you spell it. So we don't want to dox anyone. That's not what it's about. It's not doxing. It's finding clues of just like, wait. Can we just consider all possibilities? I feel very limited as a South African living in the Netherlands covering this case. I'm like, damn it, Make a mind map of every thought. Thank you so much. And please email it to me. Let me put my email address up. Here we go. grizzlybookstruecrime@gmail.com. Unless you're a member, then you've got a Superstar Grizzly member. You've got a special email address. Seemed like a lot of someone close. Yes, except Karen. This person was listed as as someone registered to the property. It's very official. It's not someone that they just knew in passing or, it's like an SO, an offender, who, as far as I remember, was a similar age to Don Wells Jr. So it seems like it's Don Wells Jr.'s friend. So if there's two of them, a half brother and a friend, who are SOs, and there's this little blonde girl, I don't know. I'm just like, this sounds hectic. This sounds quite hectic. Is G moving to Appalachia? I'm going to be out there with my binoculars, just in case. I'm going to be out there. Yep, 12 to 18 is a huge difference. And it was 12 to 21. Don't forget. You can go look. Yes, they did, but not many of them deep dive this dude. Thank you so much. Someone asked you, where does his son live? In Utah. Yes, his son lives in Ogden in Utah, half a mile from where Gabby was last seen in front of the butterfly mural. Oh, my mind went there at first when we didn't know too much about what had happened to Gabby. I'm like, oh my word, there could be a whole ring there. There could be people there. I mean, we still don't actually know who murdered Gabby Petito. But, let's not go there. Oh, when are they going to release all that? And the notebook and all that stuff. I'm still looking. Every single day I've got this new little pattern. I wake up and I'm like, Brian Laundrie news, Gabby Petito news. Like, Jared Hembry, the other body that was found after the fact. After Gabby was found, after Brian. Jared Hembry, remember that? I'm going off track. But he was found 3 miles from where Gabby was found. And they still haven't released his cause and manner of death. And I'm like, what happened? What happened to him? I look all the time. And yes, I've emailed Dr. Brent Blue and everything. Okay. Oh, yeah. Don said the girl was 18. Yeah, she was 12. Exactly, Space Junker. That's a huge difference. So again, obviously, Don also has a SO record and all sorts of things. All sorts. You could search lots of things there. But yes, to talk about a 5-year-old as an awesome young lady, I'm like, lots of things. Absolutely. I'm about to get to that now. Don't forget to find David Robinson. Now, that is what I'm going to say. Now, I know this is slightly off tangent, but David Robinson will be on the show again very soon. Let's see if he didn't message me yet now. He's either going to be here tomorrow or on Monday, I think. I think Monday is the most likely. Okay, the email is literally scrolling right here. Here it is. This is it. Okay. Didn't mean home to Candace, don't get me wrong. Ken Dalton says, back, had to make some dinner. Hope the dinner's good. Now, listen to this. I'll do a little highlight at some point on my other channel. Do you remember that David Robinson had the Buckeye police inspired to meet with the FBI to get the FBI involved? Well, Do you know what they told him? I was very excited for him. He was very excited. And the story is just even more horrifying. They said to him, "You're doing such a good job yourself. You don't need our help." So David Robinson absolutely needs our help, Grizzlies. He needs you to buy the merch because all the donations will go to him. He's bought the merch. He's got the sweatshirt. He's getting the mug. He's walking around that says Grizzlies love Daniel Robinson. My word. And thank you to Inks Masanari for making that art that's on the back as well. Please help find Daniel.com. And then he released this today. Yesterday. Here we go. I just want to show you this. It's very important. We need to help this man. If I could be in Arizona, and maybe one day, I can't right now because damn, it's December. Do you know how expensive it is to fly around in December? But if I could do some sort of a fundraiser and get to Arizona and go and help myself, oh man, I would. So here we go. This is David Robinson. It's got nothing to do with the Summer Wells case. This is about the Daniel Robinson missing person case, okay?
Hi, I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing from his work site out there in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona on June the 23rd, 2021. Since then, his vehicle was found on July the 19th, almost a month later, out there in the remote area of Buckeye Desert. Since then, I started my own searches, a grassroots search filled with generous, loving volunteers that come out every week to help me. We utilize a lot of resources and need a lot of resources. And thanks to all the many people like yourself who has given donations, helping me in my search for my son. Rather that is from the desert search to now the city search that I perform. Since that time, my searches have produced human remains, bringing closure to other families who are suffering like my own. But my fight for Daniel has not stopped. I still need the generous contributions from people like you, because my battle is not over. I'm still putting pressure on the Buckeye Police Department. I'm still going out for searches, and I will not stop for justice for my son. So I'm asking you to please continue to donate, because I really need it. I need all the resources I can get to keep this fight going. My aim is to stay here to fight for my son and to find my son and not to leave until I do so. So if you can help me, God, thank you so much. God bless you for your help. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Now that's a father looking for his child, for his son. I know Daniel isn't a child. He is 23. But that is how you behave when your child goes missing. What an amazing father and man. If you could please support him. Let me see if I've still got this banner here. I think I do. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to put this one up. But you can just go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. And over there, you can donate directly to David. If you want to get some merch, the reason I've made merch is so that, I don't want to miss this. Hold on. The reason I made merch is to spread awareness. So that if you walk around and on the back it says, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, I'm hoping it could raise awareness of you wearing it everywhere. If you do get merch, please wear it everywhere. I can't remember what I ordered, but I'm going to do that. It says Grizzlies, I ordered a few items, but Grizzlies love Daniel Robinson. On the back it says, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Can the Gabby Petito Fund help Daniel's father too? Amazingly, yes, they are helping. They have already helped to spread awareness. They have caught wind of Daniel's case, and they are spreading that awareness. Yes, they are. He's so determined, and he will never give up. Do you guys remember? I don't want to make anyone cry, but do you remember what he says? I'll put this on here. I just want to put this banner here as well. We're almost there. I know I said it wouldn't be. I'll be two or so minutes. Okay, so there, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. I want to quickly go to this volunteer to search. This is what David Robinson says. When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversations fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family. Son or daughter, to protect his family. Yes, and that's a great way to end the show tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Of course, in the Summer Wells case, there's more questions than answers. Yes, I've been in these muddy waters for a bit now, and it's a very deep rabbit hole, and it's quite a thing to cover. To be honest, it's like, oh my word. But let's keep the questions rolling. Let's not speculate too far and wide. Let's hypothesize with logic. Let's look at everyone we need to look at. Let's keep sharing the information, spread the awareness, raise the funds so that billboards can be put up and EquiSearch can be there and all these things that everyone's been doing for summer whales. And let's just hope they can find summer whales. That would be amazing. And let us hope, oh my word, that Daniel Robinson can be found. That would be amazing too. I thank you all so much for being here. Thank you. Rochelle said, fabulous episode, Gisela. Go recharge your batteries. Oh, but you know that I get hyper. I get recharged over here, guys. I'm so excited that I have to go and jump on my trampoline. That's why I have a trampoline in my house. Because after this, I'm like, right, okay. And I'm like, boing, 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 boing. And then I have to tell my husband everything. And then I have to show him. He's always like, okay. Because I run to him now. And I take my phone and I'm like, look at this. Look here. And this. And he's like, that's nice. He's very supportive, but it's just like every time I'm like, look what I made. Oh man, I can't help it. I just get so excited. It's very, very nice to be here with you guys. Thank you for being so supportive, for keeping it grizzly, which means keep it classy. Keep it grizzly. One more note. There's also some merch that says accept the cookies, because some of you have asked for that. So that is available now. Sometimes I don't have time to post all the new merch that I launch. So the best thing to do is just go look at my merch store, and every week pretty much there's something new, okay? Thank you so much. Poll results. Thank you very much for reminding me of poll results. One second. Poll results were, who do you think is the most honest out of all these people? The most honest is Hunter. That's what you guys voted for. I know many of you are not voting for any of them. Most honest, Hunter. Second, Ellie. Third, Don. And lastly, Candace. Seems about right. Thank you so much. I will see you very, very soon. What's today? Wednesday. So maybe I'll be with David on the show tomorrow or on Monday. And on Friday, please go to Murder Academy. I'm going to talk about the Delphi murders over there. I'm a special guest on Friday on Stephen Keogh's show. And then on Tuesday, I'm live streaming again with Stephen Keogh on the show. Okay, that's it. Overtime every time. Crunch time every time. You guys, thank you so much. That's all I can say. Let me play my outro. I just got to find it. Here we go. Bye.